Luo's alarm clock was introduced to the novel in the beginning, when all of the villagers gathered in awe at this fantastic device, thus symbolizing the boys' sophistication of their old society. However, this alarm clock soon begins to represent their abuse of authority, and abusive authorities in general, by using it for their own selfish benefit, such as turning it back in order for them to not have to work as early in the fields. Also, the idea that without the alarm clock there is no knowledge of real time presents the idea that the re-education was a never-ending tunnel.
The flag is a symbol of communism and the historical fiction aspect of this novel, and the fact that it holds the alarm clock in place of a star represents that communists abuse their power as well.
The phoenix, noted in the name of the mountain as Phoenix of the Sky, is in most cultures representative of rebirth and renewal, which parallels the re-education process that Luo and the narrator must go through.
When Luo throws his key rings into the lake, it is symbolic of a lack of hope for ever escaping his fate of a lifetime of re-education, a feeling of hopelessness towards freedom. However, the little seamstress immediately jumps in to retrieve them, showing that she has not yet lost hope and foreshadowing her escape towards freedom at the end of the novel.
The raven, noted during Luo's trips to see the little seamstress after a long downpour of rain, symbolizes death, danger, and an ominous future ahead. It makes the characters apprehensive, but in other cultures, ravens symbolize wisdom and knowledge. Ravens are dominating and crafty creatures, but this particular red-beaked raven is intimidating and foreshadows a foreboding turn of events.
The ginkgo tree under which the little seamstress and Luo lose their virginity is a symbol of their love, as ginkgo trees are often used in literature to symbolize love. The butterfly leaves that the little seamstress stains with the blood of her virginity symbolizes her maturity growth as well as that of Luo. Butterflies in Asian cultures are often considered personifications of one's soul, so this type of a leaf is symbolic of a change in both characters as well as the love that they share. Noted during the scene of their first kiss, Lu's hair often represents the freedom to express uninhibited emotions, which in this new relationship, both the little seamstress and Luo must do, as well as the sensuality of the little seamstress. The change in her hairstyle also represents the change in Luo and the little seamstress's relationship.
The narrator carves words from his first book by Balzac. It symbolizes the love he has for literature, especially since the words are kept close to his heart. The words are hidden from the public by the pretense that it is an ordinary coat of the peasants, which shows the extreme efforts and intelligence the narrator and Luo put into not being discovered by the headman or other villagers. Balzac himself is symbolic of all the literature by which the main characters are transformed, and how all three of their lives were changed drastically forever. The hod represents the hard manual labor required by peasants during the time of the re-education in China. Therefore, it supports the historical fiction development of the novel.
The street sweeper's broomstick is symbolic of rebellion towards the communist restrictions because the street sweeper illegally learned Latin to practice a religion other than what was standard at the time of the novel. It also represents education of the Western world against which China barricaded itself. The broomstick also represents undeserved hardship.
The narrator's violin, the only object he brought not completely out of necessity, is symbolic of the narrator's foreignness when he and Luo first arrive at the mountain. It represents their opposition to the change in their future, and therefore represents opposition to the Cultural Revolution as a whole. It reminds the narrator of the westernized society he has left behind, and the joke of Mozart is thinking of Chairman Mao represents his small-scale opposition of re-education.